What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 4 of season 2 of Solo Leveling. We'll be talking full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've watched this episode, and we'll do a real quick recap. Chevy, what happened in this episode?
All right, well, we continue from the last episode where he went in to test himself in his personal dungeon, got to the ingredients for the potion he needs for his mom, and made it 3/4 of the way up the tower, to our knowledge. He kind of self-reflects a little bit and realizes it's going to become too much of a pain in the butt to hide his rank at this point, and he's just going to not lie about it anymore, so he decides to go get reassessed. The last time he was reassessed, just as kind of a reminder, was after the incident that gave him his abilities, but he was still technically E rank in that moment, and so that's what he registered as. So now we go. He queues up for his reassessment, and then when they go to test him, it errors out. They try multiple times, and finally a director of the facility shows up to do it, and he recognizes this as the 10th time it has ever happened, because we are now in S rank. So he is formally invited to come back in 3 days for equipment that is more suited for this, but it is more of a formality at this point. Everyone knows what he is. So that being said, it causes a big commotion because it's only ever happened 9 times before. It's very rare, and everyone's kind of talking about it. The guy in the red, whose name I can't remember, but he's the head of the largest of the guilds, if I'm not mistaken, is close by and wants to check in on the commotion, while also the White Tiger leader, I believe, also catches wind of it and just immediately runs to meet him. So he's already getting the attention of multiple leaders at this point. The guy in the red goes to talk to him, and he just kind of brushes him off, which he's not used to, because if he talks to you, you're probably set. And so he kind of takes that as he's become too conceited. The other guy shows up too late, unfortunately, as Jinwoo is now gone. We fast forward a bit, and Jinwoo is visiting his mother in the hospital, and as he goes to leave, a third scout has now shown up. I can't remember who he is, but it is the older man who is in S rank, and I think it's the Hunter Association, if I am correct. They mostly handle like D&E rank dungeons and stuff. They're not as large of an organization, but they're going to shoot their shot as well, and he politely turns him down because he doesn't want to be like on the sideline. He wants to be in the dungeons.
He's not looking for a career. He wants to still fight monsters, which the old 80-year-old guy
kind of gets romantic about, basically.
Yeah, respects that he's got that drive. He's got that dog in him.
We get a little bit of a I guess detour. We go over to the guy whose name I can't remember, but he's the one who got his butt kicked by Jinwoo's dad. And he wakes up. He's in the hospital. He's all bandaged up, and someone is there. I can't remember who he is or where he's from, but basically asks him his opinion on the guy who beat him up, or Jinwoo's dad, if he is human or not, and he kind of makes a comment as if no human should be able to do this to me, type of thing. So, and he walks off, and he gets really upset and embarrassed that he lost, and now he wants to get some gear. So I'm sure we'll see him again.
He also was reflecting on his dad telling him if he messes with his family, he's gonna basically death isn't even gonna be
enough.
Yeah.
So. We go forward back to Jinwoo at this point. He's still, needs to make an income. He's still technically in E rank, and he found a job while he was also shopping for gear and contemplating selling his magical items as a miner, which they explained to us there are multiple things that go into these larger, like A rank dungeons and stuff. A group will go in, wipe out all the monsters except for the boss. A mining team goes in, and a corpse collection team goes in. They get as much resources as they can. It's how the economy basically works in this world. And then they kill the dungeon boss to close the door. They don't say this, but I get the feeling Jinwoo took the job because he also wanted to be in a high rank dungeon because he can't get in one as an E rank. But he goes in, gets treated like crap like E ranks usually do, and then he starts working and everyone changes their tune really fast. So they go to lunch break. He sees his chance. He runs off to go toy with the A rank boss because he realizes he can't kill it or else the dungeon will close and it'll cost the guild that owns the dungeon a lot of money. And in that moment, I forgot to mention the clearing party was the guy in the red, and the girl who has been brought up before, who is the 9th S rank, who apparently has very sharp senses, as we're kind of shown. Anyways, she stops him before entering the gate, asking what he's doing there, and the episode just stops there. So, that being said, did I miss anything? Thoughts?
You're very thorough. I like this episode. I'm glad we finally have taken the step of kind of getting Jinwoo out of the secrecy element of being the E rank that everyone suspects. I actually liked the element of people suspecting something from him, because that was kind of validating to know this dude's so powerful, and people were starting to catch on to that. Like, there's no way he's an E rank. How's he the only one surviving this? How is he walking out when he's the lowest ranked guy, but everyone else, around him, like, obviously he protected them, all that kind of stuff. So getting the
plus his aura is just like way too, like, he doesn't care what anyone says to him anymore. So.
Yeah. And so, getting reassessed, I thought was interesting to finally get that kind of confirmed. Also giving us a peek at what it looks like when, the rarity of a S rank is found. As we found out, there's 9 or 10.
10 now.
Yeah, 10 now. So they're very rare, even though that's just in this country, but still very rare. Kind of also shows why they all act so individual, I guess, because they're that rare. Although I think most of the S ranks are all, like, most of them are pretty dorky. But whatever. So it was also cool to see that get revealed. Although it makes me question the layers of S rank, because it's beyond the machine just errors. So that there's like, well, you're too powerful. It's like, okay, but am I just a little bit over too powerful, or am I really fucking
We need
powerful?
a new scale.
Yeah, exactly. Is there an SS rank, triple S rank?
Right.
What the hell's Jinwoo's dad if he just beat the shit out of that one dude?
Who's an S rank. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Jinwoo's still leveling. So he's going to, outperform any S rank unless something comes up. And if you know, don't tell me, please. So, that's interesting. Also, seeing everyone instantly either confirm their suspicions of Jinwoo or just trying to get on top of this, because the value of being one of the 9 other S ranks is it's a big deal, because you're going to want that person to be a part of your corporation, your guild.
Yeah, and they brought up there's like 5 major corps that are all like evenly balanced, and so adding another S rank would like greatly bump one of them up.
Sure. I mean, they're a rare commodity, so the more S ranks you have, the more powerful you're going to be. So it's kind of cool to see the dork in the red, and then that other guy from the White Tigers that we've seen multiple times, kind of both try to get in there and talk to him, but he wasn't interested. I also like the conversation he had with the old guy, as it seemed a little more respectful, a little more. He is at least humoring the conversation with him, probably out of respect. And the guy's the first S rank of the country, I believe they said. Yep. So that was kind of cool. And even though he denied him, he understood, and still even more so maybe respected him than he did before. So that was a cool little scene, especially in a show where you're looking for the action and the crazy stuff to be happening. It's kind of cool to have a dialogue where you're like, okay, that was kind of a cool convo. Very short but cool. And then him just doing the Jinwoo thing and doing fucking pleb work, being a minor, like you said, to just get into an A rank dungeon. But
because he had mentioned before that he can't go into stronger dungeons. So.
Yeah. it's an interesting way to go about doing that. Obviously, he's just trying to make money to help his sister and his mom out, while he works at his own, objective of trying to help his mom. But it was an interesting thing to see how basically a mining run is conducted. With you have people come in, murder all the monsters, and then just have people come in and start mining the place. Although, seems kind of, I guess they've done enough time so they're thorough enough. But the idea of they kill the monsters, then leave the dungeon, and have the miners go in, seems kind of weird, because maybe there's like some monsters you missed or something. But
Right.
I don't think we got to worry about that. The show's going to do whatever it's going to do. But it's also funny to just leave the boss untouched. It doesn't roam around, just in its cage, basically waiting to get fought. But they leave that so they don't close the dungeon. It almost reminds me, it's kind of a weird comparison, but it almost reminds me of leaving the last zombie alive in COD Zombies, so that you can run around and not have to start the next wave.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird that they do that. But, and also, I don't know why the fuck I know he's curious, but this is like the first time we're seeing Jinwoo like trying to get his hand in the cookie jar. He's like, I got to go check out that A rank boss. And he's like, I'm not going to kill it, but I'm going to poke it.
He's never got to officially test himself.
Sure, but it just seems like an unreasonable risk to, accidentally close the dungeon and piss bunch of people off, because he's going to be fine fighting a fucking A rank boss. But he had an interaction with that girl who could sense him earlier, so we'll see where that leads in the next episode. But overall, I liked the episode. I liked it was kind of a more down tempo episode, and I liked the big reveal that I think is necessary, because the whole secretive thing was getting a little played out. But I do like in the season so far how people were starting to suspect it. I thought that was kind of a fun element. So, but now we've pulled the Band-Aid off, so even though there's a bunch of low-rank people, still treating him like an E rank, because everyone in this world just hears your rank and goes, I'm going to judge everything about you from now on based off that fucking rank. I don't know anything about you, but you're an E. That means you're a piece of shit. Until he gives them the blue winky eye, and then they're like, oh shit, I'm going to fucking respect you now. So, but yeah, cool episode. Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, really, outside of like what you said, my big takeaway of it was that we're done playing the hide and go seek part, which was fun and added a layer of stress. But I constantly did have that question of, where's this gonna go? Because like he's either gonna get busted and it's gonna be this like crazy situation he's gonna have to get out of, or he's just going to have to come clean, and he opted for the second one, which I think is nice, because it kind of cleans up that part, because there was a lot of threads getting attached to him keeping that secret, especially when we got to the Red Gate episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't know how much longer you're going to be able to keep that secret at this point. You've survived too many gates you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And
It's
they're
also
keeping tabs on that at this point.
We also don't have to waste time in episodes playing with that arc anymore. People are just going to know, oh, he's an S rank.
Well, yeah, and then like in 3 days, when he gets officially labeled that, he'll be able to take on crazier jobs, which will be great for us as viewers, because he won't have to dick around in these, E through C rank dungeons, and then weasel his way into an A rank dungeon. So, long term for us, that's going to lead to funner fights, obviously, for us, and then also hopefully leads into the bigger picture of like, going to this ant island, and obviously with the interactions with all the S ranks, now that he's going to be among Titans, he's going to be one of them, and so it's opening a new door, which I think will just be fun for us. So.
I'm really curious about the show once he is working alongside or against other S ranks, because his situation is very different than that caster guy who's just like shooting fire into a cave and letting the fires blow up the whole place.
He's the leader of an entire guild, and he's a rich boy. So like,
well, yeah, but like he's a caster, obviously, whereas like Jinwoo is an assassin / necromancer,
a summoner. Yeah,
which is weird. Like he has an army. So
That can just keep growing apparently as long as he has mana.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how everyone kind of, because then like that white tiger dude, he's the one who's like transforming into something, right?
Yeah, he turns into a beast.
Yeah, so he's what, like a druid or something, like
Shapeshifter,
yeah. And then that dork in the bed, I don't know what he is,
I
except
think
for a
he's
guy
just strong.
just walks. Yeah, he's just a barbarian or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes, but we're not quite there yet. But we're finally taking a step into that where
And the
we're
girl's
not
called the Dancer.
yeah, where we're not separating their story going on and then separating that from Jinwoo's story going
he's
on. Now it's
getting
going to be
transplanted into it.
more interlocked,
Yeah.
which will be nice to finally get that cohesion in the story. Because in the first season, there's a lot of fucking bouncing around.
It's
and
all over, yeah.
They're talking about their S rank bullshit, but we're watching this dork with the hair slowly turn into a man.
Get his ass kicked constantly.
Yeah, and yeah. So in this season, it seems like we're finally starting to get everything pushed together. While this crazy Jinwoo dad's going around beating people's ass, threatening them.
And it's also going to make it easier, following the story with it all connecting now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, overall, it was fun. I mean, obviously, we didn't get like a huge action scene, which is fine because the show's really good about you get action episodes or you get lore episodes, and this was definitely a lore episode. So
Yeah.
Which is fun because as much as I like action shows, I also like a little bit of depth, and the show has that. Fortunately, I was a little worried when we first started watching this in season 1 that it's just going to be an action show.
Well, in season 1 kind of was until like the last couple episodes.
Yeah, and now it's becoming more of a story.
Yep.
Which I very much appreciate.
Yeah, me too, because I thought this was going to be, especially in season 1, kind of like a fun action throwaway anime. And now it's not like the deepest thing ever, but I'm getting some things to chew on finally, and I'm like, okay, like it's not just like, oh, wouldn't it be crazy if you could level up and fight monsters in like a modern world? There's like elements that we're getting to the different guilds, Jinwoo's dad, Jinwoo's aspirations, like that's more than just watching some cool action sequences, which this show has. So especially ever since he like the last like 2 episodes of season 1 on, like the action got pretty interesting with like him fighting that army. Now they're his army. Like it's just everything's gotten better, which is great.
Yeah. The other thing I appreciate about the show as a whole, this is around the topic, is that a lot of shows where the character is in a game, there's a huge emphasis, or not that he's in a game, you know what I mean? He has game mechanics as like, he's a player, right? Is that the shows will always like really want to constantly remind you that, and this show like told you that was the case, and now he just does it, right? He doesn't treat us like we need to be told constantly that he's in a game. He just, or he has that kind of like the UI he can bring up and stuff like that, as if he was in a game, I should say. He just does it as a part of what he can do, and he doesn't have to explain it to us anymore. It just does it, and it happens, and like it's fine. And I really appreciate that because, like I said, a lot of shows that have like that kind of thing, they constantly want to like bring it up, and I'm just like, yeah, we know. They're in that kind of situation. So
this show's really good about introducing concepts, letting us kind of see it early on, and then just skipping over it, which I do appreciate, because the repetition of the same scenarios playing over and over and over again would get old. I was worried about that in the first season, of going like, okay, he's gonna just keep fighting things and leveling up. That's fine. That's fun. But like, what else can we do here? So
yeah, even when he fought that elf and he leveled, we didn't like have a zoom in on his UI. It just was behind him. And if you really pay attention, you saw it say level up a couple of times. But we didn't need to be like a part of that, right?
Yeah.
So
because we expect at this point, it just gives us the information that that fight was big enough for him to get some levels out of. Okay, he's more powerful.
Yeah, and it just treats us like we're intelligent, which is nice.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I mean, overall, I did like it. I am looking forward to the next episode because I want to see how this conversation with another S rank is going to go, because he kind of blew off 2 of them and then was respectful to the 3rd, but he hasn't really like talked with any of them. He's too busy being scouted. So, plus, does he get to try out this boss? Does he go in with her? Does she kick him out? Like what's gonna happen?
I think they're gonna fight it just because we didn't get action in this episode.
Yeah, one, it would be a way to like assess him, right? So,
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm rambling. It was fun.
Yeah, agreed. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think about this episode. What were some of the biggest scenes for you, your favorite things that happened, and maybe something you didn't like, and maybe there's something in the episode we didn't talk about that you'd like to talk about. Throw in the comments. And where do you hope this is going this season? Unless you know, please don't tell us. We have not read the manhwa, so we're enjoying this blind, and we'd like to keep it that way. So thank you for respecting that. And we just did a review for Sakamoto Days episode 3. So if you're watching that as well or thinking about watching that, we have those available. We are doing episodic reviews. Unless the show just gets horrible, then I will stop. Also recommendations. If you have anything you'd like us to watch, we are going to be after this season in kind of a lull probably, where we will be able to go and backlog an anime or something. So if there's something you'd like us to watch during that time, movies, whatever, let us know in the comments. We're open to recommendations. I've been Seth, this has been Chevy, and until the next review, we will talk to you guys later.